Yeah, well, Kyrie Irving spoke not about being booed. I think he accepts that he's going to be booed everywhere but Dallas right now because that's the way it goes when you're a pro athlete. But he did talk on playing with Luka. Now, they're 0-3 together.
Okay.
All right, so the question, of course, is that troubling for Dallas Mavericks fans? Yeah, and that's what it's all about. A lot of times we think, me included, that when you're just great talent, I can just roll the ball out there and you're just going to dominate. And then you totally forget and dismiss the fact that you're playing against other members of the world's greatest athletes, right? Yeah. So I think that's part of it. We also saw, the first game together when it was kind of like hot potato. No, you take it. No, I'll take it. No, you take it. That being said, Dallas right now has lost 3 in a row. Yep. They're only 2 games over 500, and they're sitting in the 6th spot. The 6th is the most important spot because you don't want to come down to 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Don't want to be in
I'd be shocked if they did, considering that New Orleans is not going anywhere, obviously, without Zion. Minnesota, who's having a really good year, and I love Anthony Edwards, a great young player. Not enough talent yet, I don't think, to really, over a 20-game period, knock Dallas out of that.
Correct.
Golden State, to me, is the absolute wild card. But it's interesting where, you put 2 great players together, and then you really cross your fingers and just hope that they do figure it out in real time. Like Kyrie said, they don't have the benefit of, let's play for a month together and then start a season.
Yeah.
They got 23 games to go, and every game counts.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to make this work together. I think the onus is on Jason Kidd from a plays perspective, from trying to get everybody in position to win and in position to be advantageous and take advantage of their skill sets. But it's going to come down to one of those guys just making a sacrifice. Who's going to be the guy to say, here, it's your show today, or it's your show today?
Right.
Like, it's going to take one of those guys being like, I need to be the one that's going to facilitate early and then get the ball to my playmakers. Then I'm going to get mine when I get mine. And then one guy has to be like, okay, you're the guy today. I got to put it on my shoulders and score some points.
To me, the only difference is that Luka, since he became a star right out of the gate in Dallas, has never had to play off the ball.
Yeah.
He's always had the ball. Kyrie has shown, with some of the great players he's played with, KD and LeBron, just to name the obvious 2, has shown an ability to play off ball and dominate. So to me, it's easy. Luka's got the ball more. He's the go-to guy at first. And then if he gets doubled up, or if he can't get a shot off, then Kyrie's the obvious, Robin to his Batman.
It needs to be the LeBron approach. LeBron takes the start of the game, gets everybody else involved, starts making passes, gets his points when he gets his points, and then we see how the adjustments happen throughout the course of the game. I think that's how they need to approach this.
Yeah, I still say don't sleep on Golden State. They are in the 9th spot right now, but if and when Steph Curry gets back, to me, they got the pedigree. I know a lot of people say, no, it doesn't matter when he comes back. They haven't played 10 games, 15 games all together, with the big 4 on the court at the same time, but they know how to win.
Yep.
And I think as soon as Curry's back on the court, and I've not seen an updated timetable other than soon, with that thigh injury where he had some ligament damage, whatever it may be, that's the only team right now that's in the 7, 8, 9, 10 spot right there. Pelicans, Minnesota, Golden State, and Oklahoma City. Golden State, out of those 4, to me, is the only team that has a legitimate shot of either A, getting out of that bottom 4, or B, doing something in the postseason.
It's scary that they're right there.
Right?
Because they got the pedigree. They know how to win. They got the same core guys that have been there before. And if they catch fire, it could be really scary.
Yeah.
So they got the leadership, they understand it. Draymond's going to lead that team with his voice and the things he does around the football, around the basketball court with rebounding and the things he does. But it'll be interesting to see where this team goes because they're scary at the 9th.
Do not lose sleep on Golden State. That's all I'm going to tell you with 20-some-odd games to go. Kevin Durant spoke quite eloquently about why it's a good thing for the league that great players like himself request trades. So there's a couple sides to this. From a player standpoint, he's absolutely right. From an interest in the league standpoint, he's absolutely right. If you're a fan of a team that's about to acquire a great talent like a Kyrie Irving, like a Kevin Durant, and fill in the blank, obviously, he's right. There's mad excitement in those cities when you're about to acquire a great talent. Here's the disconnect, though, between what Durant's saying and the paying fan. When Kevin Durant is on a team, I'm more likely to buy a ticket to watch that team play. When Kevin Durant is on the road, I'm more likely to buy a ticket to a game that he's going to be coming into my arena for. And the disconnect here is that we get screwed, the fans. Now, you could say the fans in Phoenix aren't getting screwed. This is a big for them. They have a chance to win a title. They've already bought their tickets. Those tickets are worth more now. I can't argue that. That's right. But everybody that's left in your wake is literally left there empty-handed going, what? No, I bought tickets because you sold me that you were going to be a net for life. You were going to be a this for life, that you loved my town, you loved my team, you were going to bring multiple championships here. What about me?
Yeah, and that's what the Brooklyn Nets are going through right now.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? Or those people that brought season tickets for the next 5, 10 years thinking that Kevin Durant was going to retire a net. That's not happening
Well,
anymore.
for those people, I go,
Silly you. Silly you.
If it was the Knicks, I'd be very upset.
Exactly.
Of course. But I can't be. I'm not going to lie to you. The fact that it's happened to the Nets, I'm good.
Of course you are.
Because screw those losers. Yeah, front-running weasels that they are. But outside of them,
100%. But you gotta think that the CBA, the next time that thing is up, this ownership is going to have a real issue and going to try to do something about these players that they signed to these long-term deals. Just being like, we stink this year. I want to go somewhere else. I want to play with a contender. I want to change teams. I don't like ownership. It just can't be like that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the only upside to it is that for a long time in the NBA, once you were on the outside looking in, it was a decade before you even had the thought of being able to get back inside. The top 10 now, even since they've extended, and done the play-in. But he's right from a standpoint that it does create interest. And the fact that the trade deadline is, the week before the Super Bowl is also very, very smart. But there's also a problem on the other side. See, I think super teams equate to super villains.
Okay.
And I think all sports needs that. You need a team that everybody's gunning for.
Like the Miami Heat back in the day.
Heat back in the day, Golden State more recently, Duke in college, Notre Dame in college football.
Lakers bunch of times.
Part of hating a specific team is ultimately good for sports also. But now when you fast forward to that, if you're going to have 4 teams in each conference, and everybody else has no shot to win, long term, that's not good for the league. If you had one great team in each conference and you could grow up hating that team, that's ultimately good for the sport. Right. Or if those two powerhouses are likely to meet and you have that great rivalry of, Lakers Celtics, right? That's good for the sport. When there's only enough room for 4 or 5, so that's Golden State, Denver, Dallas, Phoenix, nobody else has a shot. And in the East, no one else has a shot. That long-term becomes bad for the sport.
Yeah, that has an effect on the sport long-term, and that has an effect on organizations. Like, how do we go out and be competitive and get guys that are going to be with us long-term? Again, we're going to have opportunities within the draft, obviously, but these guys are young. They still need time to grow. How are we going to go in free agency and build our team when you have these super teams out there, 3, 4, 5 really, really top 10, top 15 stars in the league going to one team.
The other thing is, I think when a great player demands a trade and gets traded, I think the NBA should institute a jersey swap program. Because God knows how many Brooklyn Net KD jerseys do they do that?
Good.
Yeah?
I think they do that within a certain time period. If your guy gets traded or something within a certain time period,
swap.
They can swap the jersey.
Yeah, I'd like that because I got a lot of Linsanity jerseys in my closet.
I think the time frame on that was.
What are you talking about? That's the best jersey you could possibly buy if you're a Knicks fan.
Well, listen, I don't wear it on the streets of New York, though. You should. I'm not looking to get punched. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.